San Diego clears the state's metrics for the third day in a row and qualifies to get off the COVID-19 watch list. The state just needs to approve that move. In the meantime, San Diego's 14-day rolling average for positive tests stayed flat as 4% of yesterday's tests came back positive. But we are still well below where we were just a month ago. Among today's numbers, there were 406 new cases. That brings our total to just over 34,000. The county also reported another 7 deaths for a total of 622. Our ABC 10 News anchor Derek Stahl has been tracking an in-depth look at the state's watch list. He joins us live right now. So Derek, you've been looking into what this means for schools and what happens if we end up on that watch list again.
It's a question a lot of parents have on their minds right now. Now that San Diego County has met the requirements to get off the watch list, a new countdown timer will begin tomorrow, and it'll determine whether or not local schools K through 12 can reopen. We need a perfect score for 14 days in a row on all the state metrics. If we can do that on day 15, all K through 12 schools in the county would be allowed to reopen if and when they come up with a safe reopening plan. In a best case scenario, the soonest they could reopen would be August 29th. Now, again, we need a perfect score on 6 metrics measured by the state. The one that's been a problem for us has been one called case rate. It's basically case totals adjusted by population. That was a problem beginning in July. It was an issue for over a month, but this week it stabilized and we got below the 100 score that we needed. County leaders credit the actions that they took in mid-July, moving certain businesses outdoors. Now, once schools do get the green light to reopen, once we get through this 14-day window, the state wants teachers and staff to get tested on a rotating basis. Those tests will determine whether or not there need to be any individual schools shut down. Again, a lot of questions here. If we hit a trigger during this 14-day window, we go back to go. It's like Monopoly. You go back to go and that 14-day countdown window starts over. And a lot of people are wondering, what happens if we get put back on the watch list? If you get bad data for 3 days in a row, you go back on the watch list. The good news is for parents is that once schools reopen, if we do get back on the watch list, we do not have to close down all schools again. It'll be conducted on a school-by-school basis based on the testing metrics that I mentioned a few moments ago. Steve?
And Derek, I guess, again, it's important to note we're still waiting to hear from the state about this, and this has nothing to do with businesses at this point. We still have to wait from the state and the county for that.
Yeah, exactly. The state wants to verify and double check the data to ensure that we are in fact on the watch list. But the reason that we're off the watch list, the reason for that is because the state has had issues with their data. The county has been separately crunching their data. They're very confident that we've met all the requirements. So the countdown timer is going to begin tomorrow, that 14-day window. And yes, this only will affect schools. A lot of businesses that have been operating outdoors are probably wondering, when can we reopen? The county leaders, they've been talking to the state. They're trying to get additional permission to do that. But at this point, it's just going to apply to schools.
All right, Derek, thank you. All right, let's check in with the mayor right now. San Diego Mayor Kevin Faulconer is also seeking answers. A lot of confusion to the county status. Tweeting out today, what does a county do when it gets off California's COVID watch list? No one knows because state guidelines haven't been set. With San Diego's cases no longer hitting the state's trigger, we are asking the governor for a clear process based on solid data so we can now move forward. Hopefully we'll get some answers from that for our businesses as well. ABC 10 News will send out an alert the moment the state confirms we are off the watch list. If you want to stay on top of breaking news, just download the free 10 News mobile app in your app store.